Punta Cana is a vibe.
Punta Cana called me. It's a magical place.
If you do come here and you visit and you have this urge to just stay, you are not alone.
Owning bricks, let's say, then again, like I wasn't thinking about that. I need to rethink my life.
After 18 years, I'm kind of Dominican.
You're not selling real estate. The universe really provides. The biggest trigger for me to move here is
Hi, and welcome to the Punta Cana podcast. My name is Cheryl Henderson, your guide to Punta Cana living, and today we are on location at Las Flores Hotel, and I'm here with one of the owners of the hotel, the young and amazing Angelo Vero.
oh wow, what an introduction. Thank you, Cheryl.
How are you, Angelo?
I'm great. It's funny to be on this side on the couch.
I know, because you're actually the producer of the podcast, like full disclosure. We're here flying solo, let's say, because Angelo is not only one of the partners of the hotel, but he is also the producer of the podcast. So today he is sitting in the seat of the guest so that we can talk about his journey as an expat, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and now that we have this new beautiful project, Las Flores Hotel, we're here to talk about that journey as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and thank you so much for having me on this side of the show.
So how does it feel?
I kind of feel like I understand why the guests are always a bit nervous in the very beginning, and they're like, okay, we're doing this, but yeah,
yes,
here we
are doing it. And
but I'm excited, you know that I am very excited, and yeah, I mean, it's my story. Who else can say my story? Like nobody else can talk about my story, so.
No, so speaking of your story, let's talk a little bit about that. You are an expat, you've been here a couple of years. Where are you from? Give us a little of your background.
So I'm originally from Belgium, from Brussels. I always love to say that because for me it's like Brussels is such a beautiful city. It's the center of Europe, and I really like that. I really love Brussels because it's a little bit like Punta Cana for me. It brings a lot of cultures and a lot of people together, and that is always something that I have loved so much about Brussels. I moved 3 years ago here. The very first time that I came here was 5 years ago with my best friend. She lives in Santo Domingo. We came here for a couple of jobs that we did, and then 3 years ago I just decided like, okay, I love this place. It's completely different from Belgium. What I didn't have in Belgium, I completely find here, and was like, okay, this is where I need to be. I always loved traveling. I actually, before I moved here, I thought I would end up in Italy.
Italy?
Yeah, Italy. I always went there. I always went back and forth to Italy. I became the ambassador for travel for the Lombardy region, and then COVID hit. So I was like, okay, there goes the opportunity of being able to go to Italy. And I was like, okay, what are we gonna do? So me and my best friend, we started rethinking. Like, okay, we were always traveling, we cannot travel because of COVID, what are we doing? So we started creating a company online, helping people with their marketing. And not so much like us doing marketing, but more like helping them strategize. A lot of people had to rethink their marketing and they were stuck, because COVID really changed a lot of things for a lot of people. They were like, okay, my business was not online, and now all of a sudden I have to start thinking online. How can I do that? So we created a sort of academy. And with the academy for almost 2.5 years, we really trained people from a distance through the screen with a one-on-one coaching. And that's what we did. And then she became the ambassador for the Caribbean in travel, and she brought me here. She was like, okay, let's go to Dominican Republic. I went all around the country, ended up in Las Terrenas for the last vacation before I moved here, and it was so tranquil. Like, I loved it. Beautiful beach, beautiful food, happy people. And I come from Belgium, where 300 days of the year it's gray or rainy or cold, things that I absolutely don't like. And I was here. It was amazing. I was like, okay, this is where I want to be. So then a month later, I moved.
Oh,
I decided in May 2021, and a month later I moved.
Wow. So this is such a common story. If you follow the podcast, you will know that the majority of the people ended up here just like that. It wasn't some long, thought out, drawn out process. It was like landing here and just immediately falling in love with the country, and then coming back as quickly as possible or staying, right? So that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So if you do come here and you visit and you have this urge to just stay, you are not alone. Don't feel like you're doing something out of the ordinary, because normal people do it every day.
I know.
So you came back after a month and you decided to go into business, or were you still doing that business, or how did you actually develop roots to now come to where you are today?
Yeah, so my best friend and I, we moved together. We moved together, and in the very beginning we were in Santo Domingo, and we did some Airbnb hopping. Couple of weeks there, couple of weeks there, and then I think it was in August, we were trying to find a place to actually live, and it was like, oh my god, we're not finding something that we like, and like, what are we doing? And then one day I just found a place on Facebook Market. I was like, okay, let's go and have a look. It was in a barrio. It was like really like not in the typical where tourists go, but it was a barrio, it was a panel. I loved it. We went there, and that was the beginning of staying, like literally like having a place in the country. We rented that for almost a year and a half, I think. That was amazing. We lived there. I loved it. But the project brought me here. I met a friend. He had a club here. He was developing a show, and he did marketing. I was still working by that time. I was still working with her on the online business. We were still having trainings and coachings and whatever. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to find some stuff here. And then my friend, he was like, okay, I need some help with the marketing. Can you come to Punta Cana? I only went to Punta Cana one time before that. So in all those years, only one time I came here, and I didn't see anything of Punta Cana because I got sunburned in La Romana.
Oh, you got sunburned. I can imagine. I mean, we can imagine.
I went on a catamaran trip to, I think, Isla Catalona or Isla Saona. I don't know which one it was, but I went on a trip and I got so sunburned that by the evening when I came back in the hotel, I was like, I cannot do this. Morning after, I had all these blisters on my back, and I was like, oh my god. And then we had to go to Punta Cana. So I stayed in Secrets Royal a week. Didn't see anything. Didn't even see the hotel, because during the day I stayed under the umbrellas like this. I was like, people thought I was like an international celebrity walking around with an umbrella. They did not see my face at the time. I was walking during the day with an umbrella, and only in the evening when the sun was down, I could finally leave the umbrella and go for dinner. So that was Punta Cana for me. And I was like, okay, Punta Cana. So then when my friend told me to come to Punta Cana, I finally discovered Punta Cana for real. I moved in Los Corrales, in Stanza Mare of all places. Like, when I moved really to the best place possible. Yeah. Right on the beach.
Yes.
Most beautiful place, like in the evening with, I know that you have an episode with Solas. I went very often to Solas. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is paradise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Solis, it was like game over. I went to Solis, and the rest is history. I mean, this is my story. This is where it always ends. At Solis, it's over after that, right?
And so I completely understand. Like, it's a magical place. There's, again, a lot of people from everywhere in the world that go there for one same purpose: to enjoy life and meet people and have cocktails and chill. That's literally it. Solis is a chill bar. You be there the whole afternoon, spending time in the water or not. Like, I loved it. And then living next door, I would go there very often. So the project brought me here. My friend brought me here, started doing some marketing for the show, creating what I do for a lot of businesses, stories. Because I love storytelling. I love creating content that really touches people in whatever way it could be. Could be emotional, could be fun, whatever it is. I love telling a good story. You know that already.
I know that. I know that very well.
So yeah, then like, I was here a month and a half, and then I really moved. So I took my stuff from Santo Domingo and came here. My best friend, she bought a place, so we were like, it was the right time. She was about to move in her place and live in her new place, and I was like, am I buying a place? Am I doing something? Where am I going? Like, I don't know. And then Punta Cana called. It was like Punta Cana called me, and I just answered. I came to Punta Cana, and that's it. And then I met other people on my path, people that led me to you.
Yeah, and I love this story because this is the story. It is an incredible story, and it always is, how people end up and wind up in Punta Cana. It's interesting because sometimes we get questions like, are there people displaced? Is what's happening? You know, there's so much construction going around. But at the end of the day, before Punta Cana was what it is today, it was just literally like jungle, trees and agriculture and bulls and things like that. There were no people here. There was no construction here. There was nothing. So it was as if it was just waiting for the world and the people of the world to come here and to
just
make, to make their new lives, to be born again, to live again, to create their futures.
Yeah.
So you have a marketing background. Talk to us a little bit about your background in marketing.
Yeah, so I actually do not have technically a marketing background. I went to college and I was an event planner. That's what I actually did before. So I organized nice and big events. I did a couple of things in nightlife as well, but mostly like an event planner. But I started doing marketing because of the people around me. I was like, the way that they're doing the marketing for the events that I'm doing, I'm like, I'm not convinced. I want to do it differently. So I started like trying to understand what marketing is, and I fell in love with it. Like I really fell in love with it because, taking a little bit further back to before that, I started blogging way before social media became a thing. I needed a creative outlet. I was working for a trend agency, a color trend agency of someone in Belgium. She's very, very good at it. And I started working with her, and I needed on the side, because I was like doing a lot of stuff with her, but on the side I needed my own creative outlet. So I started blogging and telling stories on my blog page, and then marketing came in and social media came in. I was like, okay, this is fun. I can like tell more stories, and like, okay, people started like really reacting with the way that I tell a story, the way that I use visuals, because I'm also a photographer. I take I make pictures, I make video, and I edit, and I just do a lot of stuff because I like creating stories. And so people fell in love, and they were like asking me to do it for them. So for a while, where I was in Belgium together with my friend, we had, I think we had like 15 clients over the whole year, where we did like full campaigns. One of the brands that we worked with was like a sustainable accessory, like bags, but made out of cork leather. Wow. Yeah, cork leather. She was like amazing. I did a couple of campaigns with her as a model, but also campaigns like where I was the marketing director for her, and really guiding her through telling a story through image, through copy, through marketing whatsoever.
Yes.
That's what I did.
And speaking of campaigns, I instantly go to the richest campaign that you did for me, which was a story because I do not walk around in Louboutin pumps, but that day I did, and actually I was surprised because I really enjoyed it.
You looked good. You look good. Those legs.
You know what? There was a reason I was working for those legs. I didn't know it was to be put into those shoes.
We were making Ida so proud that day.
Yes.
So proud. The legs were legsing. I mean,
they were, and the shoes and the style and the ambiance and the attitude and everything about that told a story.
Yeah.
That was the story you wanted to tell.
I definitely wanted to, because it's real estate. But everyone does real estate the same thing. They always focus on, and that's my whole thing. I've never focused on bricks. I never think that real estate is just bricks or cement or architecture. Of course, that's a big part of it, but for me, it's more like, especially in Punta Cana, I say it to everyone, Punta Cana is a vibe. So you need to sell a vibe. When you do real estate in Punta Cana and you forget the lifestyle in Punta Cana, you're not selling real estate.
Yes.
That's the thing. So when I came into the company and helping you with that campaign, that was the first thing I was thinking. I was like, okay, are we gonna do the same typical boring campaigns where we're just walking on a place and showing like room after room after room? I was like, no, let's not do that. Let's do something else. Let's actually do what people want to when they buy real estate. They want to buy a vibe.
Yes. So Punta Cana is a vibe. We're coining the term here. Punta Cana is a vibe.
Absolutely.
And I love that campaign. That was actually a lot of fun, more fun than what I thought it would be. And I really enjoyed it, and people still talk about it. I mean, we've seen people since then do campaigns real estate people do similar campaigns, rolling up in cars, and that it was a lot of fun. So
But it had to be you.
I
I mean, it had to be you as the founding lady of real estate in Punta Cana. If we have to make a shift in how to project and how to present real estate in Punta Cana, it had to be you.
yeah, and we didn't stop there, did
No,
we?
no.
We didn't stop there because you also did the campaign for Boardwalk. I mean,
Boardwalk.
basically all of my companies, we birthed this podcast,
Absolutely.
which we have recently celebrated our 20th episode.
Yes,
So
congratulations on
Congratulations.
that. Congratulations. Yeah, I mean, that was one day we were like, okay, maybe we should do it. And then you were like, yeah, maybe we should do it. Let's invest. And then I was like, okay, let's invest. And then here we are.
here we are.
Yeah.
20 episodes later, breaking records. I guess, only 1% get to 20 episodes, and here we are beyond 20 episodes of the podcast.
I'm not going to say it's hard, but it's hard work.
Yes.
It's a lot of work to maintain it because you need to come up with angles with people. You need to schedule. People's schedules change. You need to be agile. You need to work with everyone. It's a lot.
of
It's
work.
not just showing up.
No, it is not. Even though for me, mostly I just need to show up, but there's
Yeah.
still a lot that goes on behind
Yeah.
the scenes.
And it's growing every day. I mean, I feel like if you would look back, and you actually did, right? You did it the previous episode, looking back on all of the episodes that you filmed. So looking back, you see the change.
Yes, we've grown, we've learned, we've taken feedback, we've evolved.
Yeah.
And we will continue to do so.
Yeah.
So we're here with you today to tell your story of being an expat, of being a business owner, of being an entrepreneur. So let's talk a little bit about the hotel, Las Flores. These are some of the top reasons you should stay at Hotel Las Flores in Punta Cana. The beach. That's one of the nicknames for the wellness area here at Hotel Las Flores. This is where you can enjoy yoga, meditation, and all types of feel-good activities. Namaste. I love the water. And here at Hotel Las Flores, we have a prosperity fountain. This is where you can come and attract abundance. And I love the way Christopher makes the cocktails. Pina colada is my favorite. I mean, look at this. The flowers, the garden, the pool, the tropical ambience. Need I say more? You can get relaxation and holistic massages with Nati. The beds are so comfortable. You sleep like a baby. And the views are spectacular. We'll see you soon at Las Flores Hotel in Punta Cana.
So yeah, the hotel, I mean, it's a very recent project, as you know, but we're trying to create something different from Punta Cana, especially like, for me, I wanted to be a place where we could work on the things that I also value is mindset, motivation, mental health, and really putting Punta Cana on the map as something where people can come and work on that. Like they can work on feeling better, growing, mindset improvement, and everything like that. Because if you think about Punta Cana right now, you think as a tourist attraction, beautiful beaches, but there is actually a huge community of people that do this.
Yes.
And people don't know.
I know. I have been so surprised. I have been really surprised about the activities and the events that we're doing here. We're inviting people. They're bringing their people, their tribes to do different activities like sound healing, meditation. We did ice baths.
bath.
I mean, I'm soaking in a tub of ice literally like
Yeah.
a week ago. And so many other activities. We've even done some things for the community, like we celebrated Memorial Day here.
Yeah.
We have veterans gatherings here.
And we're not stopping.
No, there are so many things. There's a retreat coming up that we're
Yeah,
doing.
that's going to be great as well. I mean, I really want this place to be where the community comes together and uses our space for whatever they want, because it's a beautiful place. We have the pool, we have the wellness area, the new fountain that we put in.
Yes,
I love the fountain. Today we finished a new space for massages. We're having, in a couple of weeks, we're having the new rooms.
Yes.
The new rooms, and I am so excited because everyone's like, how does the hotel look on the inside? And I'm like, wait a couple of weeks and you're gonna see a whole new inside. Like
Yes.
that is making me very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Angelo, you should expect something spectacular. Look at any of the social media for any of my businesses and you're going to see how he works and the level of quality and the level of detail. It is, I already know it's just going to be spectacular.
Well, again, it's just gonna be a story.
Yes.
When I came in here for the very first time, and we were actually not planning on being the hotel owners, we were planning on something completely different, and then it just turned out to be like our place, something
Yes.
that we felt like, okay, this is where we need to be. It just matched with all of the other things that we are doing. It was like, this was one of the shackles in the chain that we needed to do
Yes.
what we do in the other companies, so it made very sense. And then when the idea came on improving and changing, and was like, okay, but what if we bring the outside inside?
Yes.
I mean, we have a garden, we have flowers, it's beautiful outside, and when you look on the inside, I was like, okay, it's beautiful, but what if we make it exceptional? What if we bring the Caribbean vibe all the way down, like all the way inside, working with natural woods,
Yes.
with colors, with more flowers, with more things. Like what I love is that now already we are thinking about personalizing the experience with a scent in the room. Guests can come here to the hotel, and from the scent in the room, it's personalized. A welcome drink at the very beginning. Everything is personalized, and I like that. So that is the story that we want to bring. Is like, you come to Hotel Las Flores and you're gonna get everything that you want. Everything that is you, you'll get.
Yes, and I really love that. So let's talk a little bit about the hotel. It's a boutique hotel.
Yes.
It's located in Punta Cana.
Yes.
But you would not know it's here.
No.
Like literally everybody who walks into this hotel, it's like this, wow, like your jaws drop because you don't expect to see this when you enter, how beautiful it is and how well maintained it is. And this is because the previous owner
Oh my God.
had taken care of it as if it was her home. And it was like her
Yeah.
home.
It was a gift. We really, really got a gift.
Yes.
Sandy and Jan did an exceptional job.
Yes.
Started 8 years ago. Belgian people.
Belgium?
I have to say thank you. Belgian
How do you
people.
say it in Belgium or Finnish? What is the language?
Flemish.
Flemish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Flemish. So Belgian people. So this is European quality, structure, architecture. You can definitely see that when I come in here, I feel like, okay, it's a part of home. I can definitely see what they did here. It very looks familiar to me, but it's really well maintained. People come in here and they do not think that it's like, I think it's they finished it 3 years ago or something like that. So it's already 3 years. People think that it's newly
Yeah.
built.
It
That's
feels-
how well this was maintained.
Yes.
Incredible. We got like a beautiful finished white canvas that was already, we could rent it out and was already great, but now we can paint on it.
Yes.
Like paint on it and give it, I always call it the Angelo sauce. Give it a little bit of the Angelo sauce. It's like a dish, a beautiful, delicious dish, but let's put a little bit of sauce
Yes.
over it, and that's it. And that's what we're trying to do right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're renovating some of the rooms,
Yes.
right? So we will have 25 rooms at the end of the
Yes.
day. All of the rooms have a name of a flower,
Yes.
which is really nice. That was fun, kind of coming up with the names of the flowers,
Yeah.
the color schemes, and really making it intentional. It's called Hotel Las
Las Flores
Flores.
for a reason.
We maintain the name, and Jan, who was the previous owner, is a builder
Yes.
in Belgium.
Yes.
So he knew what he was doing when he built
Absolutely.
it. And when I first came and met Sandy, it was neat because she has been coming to the Dominican Republic longer than me. And so
25 years.
25 years, imagine. So
Yeah.
she has been here since there was really hardly
Yeah.
anything, and she had a dream.
Yeah.
So it was neat to hear how she had a dream to buy a piece of land, to build a boutique hotel, and to treat the guests as if they were guests in her home.
Absolutely.
She cooked the breakfast, went out and socialized with the guests, drove them to the beach. It was really like her home, and you can feel that when you come here to Las Flores. So for us, like you said, it was a gift because originally I was asked to sell it. Over time, because of personal reasons, they needed to expedite. So it was like, what can you do?
Yeah.
And we were able to negotiate, and me knowing Angelo, and they just clicked right away.
Yeah.
You and Sandy clicked because you're both from Belgium. They're speaking their language. I have no idea what they're talking about. And at the end of the day, we had a phenomenal opportunity. They are very happy. We are very happy. It was really like a win-win because this is her baby.
Absolutely.
That she,
and it still will be.
Of course.
I keep her updated all the time. I
course.
send her pictures, I send her updates, tell her like, hey, this is what we're doing. When we did the fountain, she was like, oh my God,
Yes.
where was that? I was like, yeah, this hidden spot. And she's like,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And now with her new rooms, I'm gonna do some time lapses so that she can see, because for me, this place would not have been there without them. I would have not been here without them.
Yes,
Like,
and I would not be here without you and her. It's like we all
Yeah.
are connected to each other. And even, over your shoulder, the monkeys, the
Oh my
first
God,
time we
yes.
came, you just really stopped in your tracks because they have those monkeys there.
Yeah.
What is that? Hear no evil,
See no evil,
speak no evil. And you actually have
a tattoo.
Tattoo. He has a tattoo of
Yeah.
the hear no evil,
Yeah.
speak no evil, see no evil. And it was just like meant to be.
I felt immediately connected to the hotel. I mean, the tattoo and the monkeys referred to my dad. My dad passed away the year that I moved to Dominican Republic.
Wow.
That's probably the biggest trigger for me to move here. Is
If you want to get rich in real estate, download my PDF.
when I always wanted to move abroad, never did it because I was still tied to stuff down in Belgium. But when my dad passed away, for me it was like, okay, it's time for me to just go and live my life. And it led me to here. It led me to Dominican Republic, led me to Punta Cana, and then led me to this hotel. And literally the first day that I walked into the door of this hotel, I was amazed. I was like, this is beautiful. But then when I saw the monkeys, it made me like a little bit mellow. It was like, oh my God, like my dad is here. I always look for signs of my dad, which is weird because when I was younger and people would say, you look so much like your dad, I would cringe. I would like, nah. Now, when people today tell me that I look like my dad, I say, I do. And thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I feel very grateful when people say that because my dad was a rock star. Like
Yes.
I love everything about it right now. It's funny because I would make fun of how he would dress and it started to look like him even in my way of dressing.
So are you dressing like your dad today?
Absolutely. If my mom today sees this outfit, she's gonna look into the closet and see something similar that my dad would have worn.
Oh, my
I've
goodness.
started to look like my dad in so many ways.
That is funny.
Right now.
You know what? It's kind of similar with me, with my mom, because when I was very young, and I lost my mom a few years ago as well. And now when I look in the mirror, I see her, because I grew up and people were always like, you look just like your mom. And she would always tell me, put on some lipstick. And I never really wore a lot of lipstick. She was always like, put on lipstick, put on lipstick. And you know what I do every day? I put on lipstick.
Every day now.
Yes.
Every day now.
Yes. And
Yes.
I invoke even in heels, I don't wear heels much. And I put on those heels. And I was just like, Mom, look at me now. So, we are manifestations of our parents. They are a part of us and they always will be.
Yeah.
So, we are living incarnations
Absolutely.
of our parents.
And I like that. I like that a lot. Like my dad was a traveler. My dad has seen so many parts of the world. And I wish I could have brought him here, but I brought my mom here.
Yes.
So I'm very happy. She's coming. She's coming next year.
Yes.
She's coming to the hotel. She will be
Yes.
staying here for 3 weeks. She's
Wow.
already very excited. She's like making all of the plans already. I'm like, oh, chill down. But she's like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Yeah, it's funny fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
That's really great. Yeah, for me, I never actually had the idea of owning a hotel. However, I've been an investor for many, many, many years, and this was an opportunity to have 25 doors at once. And I know that I probably would not have had the courage to jump on the opportunity if I was not working with you,
Oh.
because I know that you are so capable of doing in this hotel what needs to be done to bring the concept to life, the boutique concept, the attention to detail.
Well, I had time to think about it.
Really?
Right?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, so 12 years ago, I outed the words to my best friend. I said like, you know what, maybe one day I would love to own a boutique hotel. Something small, not too big. By then I was saying like 8 rooms, okay, 25 is a little bit more, but I was like, okay, something small, something that I really could focus on the details and the personalized experience, really a hotel that I would love to go to, because I love a boutique hotel experience. I love to be pampered, I love to be taken care of, I love to be like, someone really looks to making food the way that I want, the beds are made the way that I want. It's like everything is about me when I go into a hotel, because I just love that. If I would spend money, I want it to be good. And so that was 12 years ago. Then 5 years ago, when I came here for the first time and then came back, I started like thinking about maybe, Las Terrenas or Samaná or Barahona, because beautiful nature over there. That would be not bad, having a place like that. Still didn't think that would ever happen. And then like all of a sudden, earlier this year it happened, and I was like, oh my God, the universe really provides.
Yes.
It's crazy.
The universe provides. Like,
yeah, it's like I outed the words. I said I would love it, and I have throughout the years always like had little things added to my imagination, like, okay, I would love this, I would love to have a spa and this, and like I started building, I would love to have a concept with a kitchen where like I can switch out with people from school. Still want that concept. For now we're still building, but I know that one day we're gonna have the way that I see it, working with young talents, bringing their culinary skills into the hotel, bringing people from all over the world here and enjoying amazing food by young talent. Like
Yes.
that's still something that is in the plans, and I really think that is like gonna change a lot of the community here. Like
Yes.
people love to do these kind of things. Like we have the veterans gatherings here as well, those little events that happen here. People love those, and we
Yes.
always try to come up with something new, something that people want to come back for, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Yes, yes. And I know that we've always, since we first met, have enjoyed conversations about investing in real estate and being an investor, because I've been in real estate now for 24 years and counting. I've always been an investor. I started as an investor, and I always enjoyed those conversations with you about how to invest, the art of the deal, negotiating, just really how to think about growing an investment portfolio.
Yeah.
So of course, when this opportunity came, it was like, hey, do you want to do this with me? Do you want to be a partner in the hotel and join in this opportunity to be an investor in this real estate project?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, because so many years ago, I would not have said I would invest. It wasn't in my plans, in my projects to invest. It was more in like, okay, maybe I wanna do things and I wanna create stories and or whatever it is. But like literally owning bricks, let's say, then again, like I wasn't thinking about that. I was not at all. And then meeting you, such an inspirational person with such a such a big story, but also like you have so much depth. That's the thing. You have so much depth in the thing that you said, but you also have a proven track record. I like being around you, and I like talking to you, and like what we do is like riffing off each other and like talking and like back and forth, and those are valuable moments. Like I love sharing, and I also feel like I have given you a lot of things, especially when it comes to marketing, and like you have given me back a lot of things, and we've like elevated each other and like almost challenged each other. Like on a daily basis, we challenge each other to do better, and I love that a lot. And when it comes to investing, like you really put that on the map for me. You really did. And I can tell you right now that I'm so laser focused. It started for me like last year when I started like, okay, I need to rethink my life. I really do. I was in a place where I was like, okay, we need to do better. I have always been able to find ways to attract money, but like I have never been able to keep it the way that I needed to be sustainable, to think about what's next. Like I was always good at creating it, and all of a sudden it was gone again, and then I had to find it again, and it was gone again. And then so last year I started believing a lot in the power of manifestation, but also in the power of like having your thoughts clear, writing it down, but also not just, okay, oh, I want this and I want that and I want this. No, also like if I can get this, I am willing to do that for it. It's not just mapping out what I want, but also what am I willing to do for it. And I've done it. I can go back in my phone on May, 26th of May last year, I wrote down a lot of things. And there's a lot of things on that list that it has happened. I was thinking about expanding a team. That was on the list.
Now we have a big marketing
finding
team.
ways to invest.
Yeah.
Finding ways to become a leader. It's all on that list. And like if I look back, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you have been such a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like being around you has been so inspiring because also like it gives me a lot of like, okay, I have these ideas, I have these things, but like, okay, let me go to someone and see like, is this correct? Is this how you do it? And I'm only 33 years old, so it's very young, and I know that. And that's the thing, like, I want to make people understand that you can always have what you want, but it's like, you need to be clear, you need to be focused, you need to be like projecting and saying, okay, this is already mine. It's already mine, but now how am I gonna get it? What am I gonna do for it? Like, and I see you waking up at 4 a.m. doing the things that need to be done for the episodes. I see you having meetings after meetings after meetings, and sometimes I'm like, does she ever sleep? Like, does she ever sleep? Like, and then you tell me, oh no, I can't do it because I have to wake up at, I have to do my training with Ida. I was like, also, so you do all of the meetings, you do all of the waking up very early, and then you still want to squeeze in workout time.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, that's so crazy.
It's my first domino. On the days that I'm not getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to edit these podcasts,
it's incredible.
which I really like to do.
It's incredible, but it also reminds me that if you want this, Angelo, if you want this, then this is what you promised yourself that you would do. And it helps me to go back. When I go a little bit that way, no, I go back. Go off, I go back. Doesn't mean that like you cannot switch your plans and your goals, but like sometimes my plans lead me in somewhere, but then I get focused again. I'm like, okay, this is what I want.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that I really liked about you when I met you was your work ethic, your focus, your attention to detail. I mean, you're not on island time. It's so different because I have a lot of businesses and I work with a lot of people and I work with a lot of Dominican people. I mean, I'm kind of Dominican too. After 18 years, I'm kind of Dominican. Yeah. And I love about you that you have a very high standard of excellence. It's like, no, it has to be done and it has to be done right and it has to be done perfect. And actually, my businesses have grown since I met you. I mean, I started out with real estate and construction and some ideas that were growing, but since we've been working together, we've launched a podcast, we have a hotel, we're really gaining a lot of momentum with our veterans projects and veterans initiatives that we have going, that now we have tours every month. We have a platform for that. We do the gatherings here. We do the events and activities here at the hotel. And I love how all of the businesses really feed each other. I mean, at the end of the day, I was counting the other day, it's like 11 different brands.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and you are the marketing creative director for all of it. So if you want to see his work, by the way, he is not available, just for the record.
I wouldn't even be able to.
Don't call him, he is not available. He's very busy. But really, we have a lot of brands that you're actually managing. My personal brand that I've launched since we've met, the Cheryl Henderson Punta Cana, the podcast, the veterans clinics, the veterans solution. More to come. The Keller Williams, the Boardwalk. So many things and some more projects that we actually have in the cooker. So
we even have some secret projects.
Top secret. If we tell you, we have to kill you. So.
I mean, hey, it could happen. No, I'm joking.
But I'm really excited about working with you and having you by my side, sometimes in front, sometimes behind the camera, directing in front, leading the troops, the marketing direction, the concepts, and your real focus on excellence. And I love your desire to tell your story as well as a young entrepreneur who had a dream like so many. I'm older, you know, my dreams I've been fulfilling for a lot of years, which was a vision to come here and help people to fulfill their own dreams of buying a home, and to work with you as well, who can be an inspiration to young people that you don't have to be in your 40s or 50s to be an entrepreneur, to be a business owner, to be an investor in those types of things, because like you said, you're in your early 30s and you're doing it.
And I already try to inspire my staff here at the hotel as well. It's like I was talking the other day to Pablo, and I was like, and I even do it with Chris, I say, you have to find that one thing that you are incredibly good at. And you have to be so good at it that you become indispensable. Because if you're indispensable, nobody's letting you go. They will need you, because if they want to grow and you're the only one that they can call for it, you're the guy. You're that guy. Be that guy. Try to be that guy and excel at it, and always look for perfection. And I know it's hard. And sometimes I'm very hard on the people that I work with, but trust me, I'm way harder on myself. I'm way harder on myself, because I just want to look back in so many years from now and know that I have given it my all. That's really what I want to be able to do. Look back and say I have done everything that I possibly could to achieve what I wanted, and not just for myself, but for the projects that I work with, the partners that I have in the businesses that I do, for everything. And it could be professional, personal, whatever, even on a relationship level. Let's go a little bit personal, but on a relationship level, I do not start a relationship with the mindset of this is a 1 week or this is just a test. I do not do that. I'm an all-in guy. On every level, an all-in guy. If you start dating me, you get me 100%, because I plan for success. In everything that I do. A relationship, I plan for, let's call it marriage or whatever it is. I'm not sure if I'm gonna marry, but I plan for it. I plan, if you are my guy, if you are my person, I plan for success. Because I wanna work with it. I will find ways to put you in my schedule that is very, very hard, and I have a lot of stuff, but if I decide that I want it, I'll make it happen. That's what I want to do. And it's hard sometimes for people to show up and be at that same level, but I expect no less, because that's what I give.
And I totally agree with that. And I'm the same.
I know that.
I mean, we are like two birds of a feather, you know, two peas in a pod, because I go all the way too. I put everything into it. I love being excellent. I love being a leader out front. I don't follow. I lead. I set the standard, set the pace, and you there with me with your ideas, your concepts. I just love it. And I think we're really doing something great and growing some really good businesses, and our teams are there with us. We laugh together, we cry together, we struggle together, we figure it out together.
And even though we are on that high level and we're always going, what I love is that we have even found ways of like, I need creative off time. It's like literally on my sheet, you know, that creative
you have
off
to time block it.
And for me, it's like, okay, Sundays is off. Sundays is me regenerating, going to the park, wakeboarding, or whatever it is, going to the beach, spending time with myself, with my brain. Like I need that, and being able to do that, like being able to have someone next to me that understand that is important. Because if you want to get the Angelo on the high level, you need to give me that time. You need to give me that time to just go off and be by myself and like reflect on things and say, okay, we are doing marketing and we have a new team and we have new people coming in, and sometimes things don't go because we're rushing and we need to deliver. And then I need some time to like reflect on things and say, okay, how can we make it more efficient? And then I come with some ideas, and I come with tools, and I come with AI, and come with a lot of things to make it more efficient. Everything, all the time. And I like that. I like the fact that we have that. Like we have a good agreement of how business should be. Always giving top quality, but at the same time, like having a lot of mental health. Like we both are big advocates of mental health, about everyone in our team needs to feel good. I go around and I do that every day. That's my first thing, whether I sleep here and I wake up or I go home. My first thing that I do when I go into the hotel I say hi to everyone, because I do not want people to feel like I'm better than themselves. No, I'm here thanks to them, and I want them to feel happy. And I talk to them. I like, hey, how are you feeling? What are your plans? What are your goals? Because if I'm like you, if I know that that is your goal, let's go there together.
Yes, exactly. And I agree with you 100%. There has to be balance. I mean, we work hard, but we also take our rest and rejuvenation. I mean, me with a family, I have 3 kids, I have a husband. I mean, they have to get their time too. I mean, my kids are young. My daughter's going through puberty right now, and she needs mommy, and I have to be there and put on that hat and play that role with her and give her her time, as well as my husband, as well as all of my different businesses and employees and partners and everybody. So that is important too. That is a role that we play as well. And I definitely value that with everybody. We have to do that. I mean, I used to work myself to the bone. That's not sustainable. You know, like one of our partners, you know, he's Mr. Sustainable.
Oh my
and
God.
I have to tell him, you know, we need a sustainable business, but you need to be sustainable too. And so we have to really keep that in mind.
Being the leader of a company is the health of the leader of the company is the health of the company.
Yes. And I am so thankful that all of my companies are very healthy and that I have good partners and good people and a good team. So
and we're still figuring things out, and there's people coming on the bus and people finding their stops, and you know,
Yes.
I love that. But you know, we keep moving and we have a direction that we want to go, and like we always say is like, okay, everyone has his time and his place, and when it's time to go, it's time to go. When it's time to find new people, it is. But we have to keep it going.
Yes, we do. And we do.
And we do.
You have dreamed of the perfect Caribbean beach lifestyle. With Boardwalk Developments, we have the blueprint for you in this tropical paradise. Celebrate incredible returns when you elevate your investment portfolio with the hottest real estate in Punta Cana. Invest wisely, live lavishly. We'll show you how. Contact Boardwalk Developments, Punta Cana. One of the things that I find really interesting about you, among so many things that are very interesting about you, is that you speak so many languages. I mean, as an American, most Americans only speak English, if that. So, you know, I'm proud that I have a couple of languages under my belt. I got a couple of languages under my belt, but you have how many?
6, and I always say like 6.5, but yeah, 6.
6 plus languages. Look at this.
Yeah.
He's only 33 and he's fluent in 6 languages. So you have
Flemish.
English, of course. Okay, English, which obviously English, Spanish. We're in a Spanish-speaking country. Flemish, your mother tongue.
It's Flemish. That's like Dutch, but from Belgium.
Dutch from Belgium.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we have French, which is another official language in Belgium, and we have German, Italian, and then Spanish.
So
it's
Italian, Flemish, German, English,
French.
Spanish, and French.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And aren't you learning something else? What?
So I know a little Hungarian because of my dad and my mom that used to live in Hungary like right before my dad passed away. So every time I went, I would learn some new stuff, and I really love it. And I would love to one day even be able to speak Arabic. Like I want.
Really?
Yeah, of course I do. For me, Spanish, I didn't speak any Spanish before I moved here. I started 1 month. Literally the day that I decided, when I was in Las Terrenas, I downloaded the app again because I've been using an app for like 10 years. I downloaded the app again and I started doing Spanish, like 30 minutes a day, some classes, and then in 3 months I got a hang of it, and then I started speaking with the people in the streets.
So he caught the hang of Spanish in 3 months. This is not the ordinary. Like,
No,
do not try this out.
No, I know that I'm very, very lucky to have developed like an ability to pick up languages very, very fast. It wasn't always like that. For example, like the German and English and Flemish, yes, because they're all like they're linked to each other. French took me a long time. I was never really motivated by my teachers at school, not at all. They were always like, yeah, you probably won't be able to speak French. They didn't try to motivate me. They were always like, like this, like, oh, you're bad, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm bad at it. And it all changed for my very first job, where my boss, she was like, so we're going 6 months to Paris. Yeah, do you speak French? And I was like, bah oui. I was like,
Oui, oui.
the first week, I think I did not speak a word. I was like, we, no, like very little things, but picking up. And then it started hitting me, like, I know these things. I know this, I've studied them. Like in Belgium, when you are 12, around 12, you already start learning French. So it took me until I was 19 to finally realize that, okay, my brain can connect all of the things that I learned when I was 12 till now, and like then it hit me like whoop. The day after I spoke French. I woke up and I spoke French. It was really weird.
You just woke up and opened your mouth, oui, monsieur, blah, blah, blah.
I swear, when I woke up, the day after my brain clicked, I spoke French. And even so French that I spoke French to myself in my brain. I was walking on the streets and I realized, you're talking French to yourself. Why? And ever since I was just fluent.
Wow. So how many do you want to get up to? Do you have like some goal?
So
15, 20?
There is this thing that when I was younger, I was reading that there was these, they would call them uomo universalis. That was like in Italian, they would call it, and there's like universal guys or men. And they would be able to speak at least 10 to 12 languages.
Wow.
And it was so intriguing. I was like, you know what? I want to try that. I want to be that. And I've learned that the more languages you speak, the easier there is to pick up new languages, because your brain has developed in a sense of like, okay.
The switch. I call it the switch because for me, when I was young and I lived in Germany, I started learning German. So that's my second language. And when I started learning Spanish, I related to some of the concepts, the German concepts, like, you know, the different adjectives or the articles and things like that that's not in English. So I was able to make that relation and carve a new switch.
Yeah.
Now it's a little challenging because now when I listen to German, I want to go to German, it always switches over to Spanish. But when you learn how to create those switches and you tap them, then you're just going into the different languages.
Absolutely.
And it's really a neat thing. And little kids, they learn languages like this.
Oh my God, like my godchild, he speaks all of these languages. Like when I was going to my sister and was like learning other languages like Italian and stuff, and I was talking to her, I'm like, oh, I learned this. He would sit there, and you know how kids are, they don't say a thing, but they listen, they hear everything. They're on the iPad, and like the week later or 2 weeks later, I would go and he was saying sentences that I was saying before.
Wow.
He would just reproduce it. And he's so smart. He is so smart. I think he's gonna end up being more like how do you say it, like apt or like apt to learn more languages than I am.
Yeah, I mean the newer generations, they just get better and better.
I mean,
like
Dora of all things is in Chinese, I think, and then they'll start learning Chinese.
Yeah, well, that's how I learned Spanish in the beginning. We were watching Dora the Explorer. Those were my first words. Lo hicimos. So yes, look, get in where you fit in.
¿Dónde está?
Yeah, and so that's really, really neat. So as a part of our podcast, we like to take a question from our subscribers. You know that.
Really?
Well,
I didn't know.
You
Who created that
concept. See, this is what happens when you have the producer with you. You say something and they're like, really? So yes, by the way. And thank you for designing this beautiful box with our Punta Cana podcast question. So go ahead.
I take a question.
Yes,
right?
of course. How does it work?
And I hand it over to you, and you're the one who reads the question, right?
I'm going to read the question, right? Now, how did you know that?
I don't know. I had that feeling.
So here's a question. I am in my 20s and would like to start investing. Where should I start?
All right. So I think you need to start small. I don't think you need to start big, especially like that's the thing that I learned from you. Is like I never thought that when I was back in Belgium, I wasn't born with a lot of money. I wasn't born into a family with a lot of money. So I always thought, oh, it's not for me. Investing is not for me, but because I won't be able to have a big house and have the money right now to buy that. But I learned that you don't need that. You can start with small investments. You can even create with a group of friends. If I had known back then about Punta Cana so many years ago, because so many years ago the prices were lower. If I had known, I could have, with a group of friends, just throw out a couple of 10,000 or 20,000, whatever it was, with some friends together, and already now have. I could have had maybe a building.
Yeah.
I could have had a building.
But now you do.
Well, I mean, yes, but I could have like invested, and then with the profits of one,
Yes.
buy another one, maybe with a smaller group. Maybe like first you start with 10 people, the next time you start with 5 people, and then maybe 2, and then by yourself, and then all of a sudden you're like, I have ownership in 4 buildings. Mm-hmm. And that is like, I didn't know, and that's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway that I learned from you. Is like, you don't have to, but you have to be very smart in how you do it. And you taught me a lot of things, and that's the thing that I want to project to people my age. Is like, you don't have to start investing in big. You could start small, but use the profits for one to invest in the next. Don't use that money to do whatever. Be smart. Like you had the guy the other time, is like he buys a lot of cars, but what if you buy a condo, and with the profits of that condo, you buy the car?
Yes.
I mean, it's just a little bit of a mind shift, but it's really smart if you think about it, because I wasted a lot of money. I wasted a lot of money.
Like so many people
I know.
do. We all have.
But if I had a mentor like you, someone back then, and I'm very grateful that I have you right now, but if I would have had it right now, and that's the thing, like if I can be that for someone right now, I would love that. But, or even if that would be a takeaway from this podcast, just start small, invest a little, use the profits and reinvest. Do the same over and over and over again, and in no time you will have built up capital to become whatever you've dreamed of.
A portfolio, a great portfolio. Well, wow. I think that is very good advice.
Yeah, I mean, I picked it up somewhere along the way.
Wow, Angelo, I am so happy to be sitting here doing the podcast with you. I know I've been asking you to get on the podcast with me, and I'm really happy to have you here on the other side of the camera to tell your story, to share your expat entrepreneurial story, your experience like so many others have. And
it has been nice.
Yeah, it has been nice. Yeah.
I didn't know how it would go, because I'm always on the other side, and I always see these people with their amazing stories, and I like it. I like hearing their stories, like we filmed earlier today as well, and I got some goosebumps from it. Like I like that, and being able on the other side, it's been very nice, and I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that you invited me to be part of your podcast.
Yes, and it's a good thing that we are doing here together.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, another episode of the Punta Cana podcast here in Las Flores Hotel, Punta Cana. You can follow us, the hotel, on Instagram as well as Facebook, and please do subscribe to the podcast. We have episodes coming out all the time. Leave a comment, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.